What's all this mess? Well, we made it to All Japan Day.
Yeah, boy!
Unfortunately, I forgot to take my GoPro. Because my phone's got a crack on the camera lens, I couldn't film or take very good photos, which is super unfortunate because it was a really, really good day. There was a pretty decent turnout of cars. I think there was 350 there, and there was some nice ones. Not many classics though, as other years, but I think that's because they've made it so the classic one's at Birdwood end of the year, so I'll probably make it to that one if I can as well. But we made it. We made it to All Japan Day. We made it down there without any major hiccups. The only real problem we ran into was the little circlet popped off the wastegate. So that was more an annoyance than anything because we just had to stop and get another circlet. But yeah, it was a good day. I'm super happy. I finally made a deadline. But all this mess was the night before All Japan Day. My wife and I swapped the interior to black. And it was pretty, we only started at like 12, so lunchtime, because I had to prioritize some business stuff in the morning. So unfortunately, we didn't really get a full day to do it. I was up until midnight. My wife threw in the towel at about 10 PM, so I just kept going that little bit longer. But she helped me get all the new carpet in, other than the boot carpet. We pulled all the brown interior stuff out. It's got new underlay. It's got the black seats in it now. That's just a spare black seat bottom I had. The other one's in better condition, so we put it in there. Black door cards. All this is just all the brown interior stuff left over, or boxes of parts I was going through to get some black interior parts. I've just left boxes of shit everywhere. But that was me just rummaging through everything I had to try find all the black trim. And I have every single part other than a dash pad. So the dash pad we actually painted in NooB, vinyl dye, and it did really well. So I'll go show you that in a minute. I love this car. She's a bit rough. But I am daily driving it again, so I'm not fussed. I do need to adjust the boot again though. The boot's never been right on this thing. I do have another set of wheels to put on once I get tyres that are wider, which will delete that spacer in there. Be nice. This dent I'm not fussed about down here. That was when the strut popped out one day. The bolts snapped, well, one snapped and one bent, which was really random. We'll have a look at the black interior here. This hasn't been cleaned either. This was just slapped on, so there's still fingerprints and marks everywhere. But like, that just looks so much better than the brown interior that was in here, you know? Looks so good. The console and stuff aren't in properly yet because the knock controller's in there, behind that. The bloody ECU's in here because I haven't found a spot for it yet. But yeah, the black interior, I love it. The only problem really is that that's torn up a bit at the top, but I'll cover that for now and probably get it reupholstered at some stage, because most places would just put a strip of vinyl along the top there and stitch that on. I put the GT hold the fuck on handle in here, so I figured this motor warrants it a bit better than the RG. I'll just pop this window. So one thing I haven't finished yet either is the parcel shelf, so I haven't got the sides in here yet, but that doesn't matter right now. Mind the tools and crap everywhere as well. We took tools with us on the way to All Japan Day just in case. Okay, so man, that's nice. Every freaking time I open this door and just look at this black door card. See, this seat's got a bit of a tear here, but that spare seat bottom, I'm thinking an upholstery place might be able to use the trim off of it to fix this up. Or I am speaking to a dude at the moment that has another set of seat covers that might be a bit better. Also need to finish off the carpet on the edge here and put that trim on down there. But let's hop in. Yeah, it's very nice, very nice. This is the dash pad that's vinyl dyed actually, and it came up mint. Like it's unreal. And the panel behind it, roof is powder coated. This is a GT dash fascia, so that's why it's got the thinner edging around here than the normal LT ones. It's got a different hole for the radio as well, because it's got a nice looking radio that goes in there, which I've got but didn't have time to fit. I've got the GT warning light cluster that goes in there, and the GT warning light cluster that goes in there, because the GT's had all the frickin' warning lights. Oh yeah, the steering wheel's a pretty obvious thing, isn't it? So flip that around for you. That is a TA63 or TT141 Celica or Corona steering wheel. So those cars came optioned with the motor that's in this now, so I thought it'd be cool to have the matching steering wheel. And it's black, so it matches the interior too, which is awesome. Got the speedo and the tacho in there that I've built using Carina parts essentially, with the turbo lights. They aren't wired up correctly yet, but they at least turn on, so I know the LEDs work. The green one turns off because there's no boost telling it to turn on. No signal hooked up telling it to turn on. And the orange one stays on because there's no signal to tell it when the engine's knocking. So I've got to sort those. That warning light I was working on I still haven't put in here yet. The boost gauge looks alright. All I did was mount that inside a clock housing, and then it bolted straight in behind the dash. I have no clock now though, so I'm going to have to work out where to put a little digital one, like maybe in that spot there. I could put a little digital display or something. I'll work something out. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. The interior's turned out pretty bloody good, honestly. And I think the saying is true, once you go black you never go back. Because this is mint. I love this. Oh yeah, the gear knob too. This is the only good RA40 gear knob I've got, and I was lucky enough that it was a black one. So the interior just needs some refinement, some cleaning, and it'll be finished off. It's not perfect. Like the door cards have little tears here, but that's, you know, it's old. It's old. It just, yeah, it looks nicer than the brown anyway. That's all I wanted. I've wanted a black interior in this thing for ages, so it's good to finally get it sorted. You may have noticed the AC switch. I do have the aircon system and everything all installed under here, ready for when I want to put aircon in. That's going to be a pretty decent job, but I wanted to get the motor running correctly first before messing around doing that. So let me just pop this other window. Now I'm probably going to have to explain the front end a bit. That valance is only temporary because I don't have a front spoiler to fit this thing yet. But, oh, this badge is only temporary too. I'm doing another one for it now. So let me just pop the bonnet. Okay, so yeah, she ran great on the way to All Japan Day. The only thing was this bloody actuator down here. That circlip keeps popping off. So if this one pops off, this is the fourth circlip now. If this one pops off, I'm gonna have to come up with something else. But that one's a pretty tight circlip, so hopefully it hangs on. It's just annoying more than anything. So the front end, these rad supports in here, in behind the battery here, are welded in. They're Series A. This is still Series B. Guards, bonnet, Series B. The valance is Series B. Bumpers Series A. Grille and headlights are all Series A. These are Series B. I had to basically gut them to get them to fit without hitting these, because I didn't want to trim these because these are GT surrounds. But that worked. The Marshall headlights that I'm friggin' in love with. Very nice headlights. Which was actually the motivation to convert the round headlight, was literally just those headlights. One of the tedious things I had to work out that I didn't think of was this bloody stick. Because I normally mount off of here, run along here to there. Couldn't do that. So I had to mount the stick back here off of this bracket. Bend it up so it misses all this and runs along the front of the radiator here and clips into here, which is a T18 clip. The other thing too is the bonnet has had these sections trimmed to clear the headlights, because I had no choice really. That was the only way to do it, was just cut big chunks out of the inner skin to clear the headlights. And doing that, of course, there's no longer a hole for the stick, so I've had to just make one over here. But yeah, that's pretty well the front end. That sums up the front end. It was a lot of work, way too much dicking around really, but it was worth it, because when it's closed it just looks freaking mean. There's the stick laying where it lays. Yeah, I like that. I still need to swap the bonnet, because the bonnet's still the one with the dent in it after I hit a roo, so that's annoying. But I want to swap it anyway, because I've got hood flutes to go right here, TA27 ones, which will look awesome. So I'll get another bonnet done up and everything. But yeah, it cold starts alright too. And with the exhaust, it's got a nice note now the exhaust is hooked up. I don't know if the GoPro will pick that up. Probably won't pick it up, but yeah. I'll let it warm up and then I'll go for a spin. It's nice to hop in this thing and just turn the key and go as well. That's awesome. The tacho also doesn't work correctly yet, so I don't actually know how far I'm pushing the motor just yet. I've got to suss out what's wrong there. It doesn't work properly, and I don't know if that's because of the needle or like the needle might be too heavy. Super annoying. Hopefully the GoPro doesn't get too much wind noise. If it does, sorry. He's not going to go as fast as an 18RG, but like it's probably going to be about the same power. Fuck off. It's not a rocket ship, but it's definitely got more balls than the old RG, that's for sure. excuse to drive this thing. Just casually park it at the shops. Some of the looks you get are hilarious. Turning right here is a bit of a bitch sometimes. Now I need a mother. Got me mother, I'm happy. God, it starts so nicely. I always look at this thing in reflections. Does anybody else do that, or is that just me? Am I just a bit obsessed? Now, I am babying this thing a bit, mainly because I'm still sort of getting used to driving it, and also the tacho not working properly. I don't know how hard I'm pushing the car. I have a feeling I'm not going past about 4 grand when I give it some, and I'm not going full throttle either. So yeah, just taking it easy for now. Maybe in the diner. That's going to need a decent motor to hold things around. Braking makes the steering go like that. That's still something I have to sort.
Now I hear a lot of people bitch about fender mirrors too, but I mean they have no blind spot. They have no blind spot. You can just reverse back without having to turn your head left or right. You just look ahead and you can see your friggin' mirrors. So I don't understand what the hate is with fender mirrors, but to each their own, I guess. It's fun to drive, but I think that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to have to go clean the shed. It's a freaking mess. But yeah, I'll be sure to keep you updated on getting the interior finished, future upgrades on the engine, maybe at least not for 12 months, so I'm going to have to start work on the dyno. But yeah, keep a lookout for videos. I'll be working on cars always. Catch us later.